Survivor Now podcast.
I was busy on the beach, like I was on Survivor.
I don't believe anything you say on Survivor. I almost called it.
It's now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no!
I do love you, but bye.
Oh, it's so wrong.
I gotta go. I got something to do. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast. We are here at the pre-show where we are getting excited and hyped up, ready for tonight's episode. Obviously, I'm Ollie. There's the name. But joining me as always, it's Tori. Tori, how are we doing, my darling?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm fighting a little cold. I was telling you before we went live, and it sounds like you are too. But, you know, we're in this together, and, you know, we're still going to give you all a lovely show. And I'm excited.
Yes, I mean, I am feeling a bit worse for wear today, but also for context for everyone, I live in the UK, so my time zone right now is very late. But I also may have fell asleep at 9:30 p.m. and then woken back up at 10 to 11. So this part of it is my very much own doing, but it's fine. We move on. But obviously, we are here tonight to talk about episode 9 of Survivor 49 that is airing tonight. First and foremost, Tori, I want to ask, how are you feeling? How were you feeling about last episode? And what are your general thoughts before we get into icebreaker and discussions and all that?
So I enjoyed last episode for the most part. I don't love a split tribal, but I think I shared most of my thoughts on that at the after show. And I've made my peace with it. I do enjoy the fact that we saw things shaken up a little bit. And I really do love Savannah, and I love Rizzo. I love the people that were saved. I also loved MC, so I was sad to see her go. But this makes me excited to see what is in store for this week. What do you think?
I mean, I said this on the podcast. I really did think last episode was really good. Like, I do think we're starting to hit a nice stride in this season. Again, really sad to see MC go. I definitely had some opinions on it, which we'll get into for this. Just a reminder, though, the live chat just down over there for anyone on YouTube is open, so you can share your thoughts, and you can share your thoughts from X, so make sure to reply there. We've already got Gemini in the chat saying there should never be a split tribal when putting people on the jury. And we can get into that discussion because I don't really think many people kind of discussed that kind of last week during our shows. But what we are going to do is a little icebreaker, because that's how we want to, get things sorted. Also, is this actually Savannah, or just because I love this? Thanks for the show. But it's also the Hot Grim Reaper. I mean, we will get into that because I loved that name. But we also appreciate you for that. But Tori, are you ready for tonight's icebreaker?
I think so. Let's do this.
Okay, because obviously last episode we did kind of something Survivor 50 related.
We did.
This time you are going to play this or that. So I'm going to give you 2 seasons and you have to say this or that, and then you can decide. Also, it's Tashuya. I love that you changed your name to this. That's so iconic. So yeah, do you understand, Tori?
I do. I'm excited.
Okay, and chat, make sure you're playing along with this as well, because it's going to be this or that. So I'm going to give you 2 seasons and you've got to say which one you prefer, and then that one's going to stay, and then it's going to compete against another one, okay?
Amazing. Okay, let's do this.
Okay. So first things first, the 2 that I have for you are San Juan del Sur or Millennials versus Gen X.
Okay, 1000% San Juan del Sur for me.
Okay, so San Juan del Sur. San Juan del Sur or Winners at War?
San Juan del Sur.
San Juan del Sur. San Juan del Sur or Panama?
Ooh, that's a tough one because I just rewatched Panama and I liked it a lot more on the rewatch. Ooh. I think I'm going to have to say Panama. I'm gonna say
Ooh,
Panama.
okay. I've got some cards here, so I'm going to do it like this. Panama's
Okay.
here.
Awesome.
So,
Do it.
Panama or Borneo?
Oh my gosh, that's so tough. I think I have to say Borneo only because it's the OG.
Okay, then. Borneo or China?
China.
China or Survivor 44?
China.
China or Philippines?
You said Philippines?
Philippines, yeah.
China.
Okay. China or Redemption Island?
Are you kidding me? Ollie.
Redemption Island.
China.
China or season 48?
Again, are you kidding me? China.
Now it's going to get to the hard ones. These are the final ones. China or Cagayan?
China.
Ooh. Okay. China or Micronesia, fans versus favorites?
I knew you were going to bring that up eventually. And Micronesia typically is my favorite season of all time. I am going to have to say Micronesia.
Micronesia. Okay. Micronesia or Vanuatu?
Micronesia.
And finally, Micronesia or heroes versus villains?
I knew that was going to be the last one. It's got to be, this is always a toss up for me. It depends on like the day that you ask me, honestly. But today it's going to be Micronesia.
Micronesia wins then.
It's
Thank you for playing that with me. It was quite
That
fun.
was good.
You have got Green Reaper. Heroes versus villains would have won it in the end for them. And I agree with this statement, Amy, so much. Any
I love
season with
that.
Courtney Yates is a winner.
Wait, so I'm curious, Ollie, like which one would have probably won out for you?
China.
Okay, so I almost
China.
I just rewatched China. That's like the most recent rewatch for me, and it is so good. I mean, it is everything.
If I had said like China and Tocantins, that's where I would have like been really struggling, because if anyone watched at the start of the year, we did the kind of ranking every seasons, and Tocantins is my first season, so it's like such a big like there in my heart. And China just obviously that like holy that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
heroes versus villains.
Honestly,
Right.
it's right there with Micronesia. Micronesia just really has a special place in my heart, and it's just so good.
It does make sense. But thank you for playing along with me on that one. And thank you
And
to the
Ollie,
chat for giving yours.
Really quick,
Yeah.
you mentioned last week's icebreaker, and it was a fun icebreaker. You said that I needed to put my casting hat on and replace a few people from Survivor 50. And I was really put on the spot. I didn't have time to think about it. And I said, like, for my last answer, I said that I would replace, who did I say that I would replace with Todd? I think I said, Jonathan. I think I said I would replace Jonathan with Todd Herzog. And I had also said earlier that like I didn't really want winners on Survivor 50, and I do stand by that. As good of a winner as Todd was, I just think like I don't think that that's my final answer. And I thought of a couple really good new answers after we had that episode that I wanted to share on here, if it's okay with you.
Absolutely, go for it.
And I wonder if you like these answers. Okay, so I thought that it would be fun to replace Joe from Survivor 48 with Jonathan Penner, who almost was on Survivor 50, right? Wouldn't that be good? Or another backup for Jonathan Penner would be, and this isn't like one of my like absolute favorite survivors of all time, but I do think he deserves a second chance. I thought it would also maybe be fun to put Dom from Ghost Island in.
I mean,
place.
Let's just make that point. The fact that Dom was not considered for 50, from what we know, is criminal. So yes, I do agree. I mean, I've said this. I could put my casting hat on for 50 as many times as I wanted. But I mean, also you have I wanted fair play.
Yes,
And also,
fair play.
Tori has been thinking about that comment all week.
All week. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know. As soon as the live was over, I was like, oh my gosh. Like I think I like couldn't think of any other name except for Todd. Because also Ollie had just said Todd, and I do really love Todd. And I had just rewatched China, so I was like, it was fresh in my mind.
Mm.
And don't get me wrong, like Todd coming back, I would not be mad. Like that would be amazing. But another name that came to my mind was Reed from San Juan del Sur. Speaking of San Juan del Sur, I was like, oh my God, like how have we not talked more about Reed? And I don't know exactly who I would replace with Reed, but like, can we please bring him back? That would be amazing.
Oh, I could think of many people I'd replace on 50 with Reed. So trust me, like Reed is a good, like how the fact Reed has not come back, I'm like, don't get it.
I know. I need him back so bad.
But also for me, any of the final three from China could easily be cast. So
100%. 100, like 1 million.
We are not here to go on our Survivor 50 run.
No, we're not. I just needed to bring those up because I needed to redeem myself a little bit, and I had thought of so many good answers. I'm not going to go on all day, but I could.
You're fine. I mean, it makes sense because obviously I think it was the EW or Entertainment. They had posted like each castaway's pick for 50, which by the way, Sophie B made a correct choice, and that's all I'm going to state on that for now. But
yes, she did. Wait, she picked Vesepia.
Yes, she picked Vesepia.
Yeah.
She picked Vesepia, and I was like, yes. Speaking of 49, we obviously have got episode 9 tonight, but let's quickly recap just episode 8, because obviously it was a split tribal. They were playing a really iconic challenge, and we had some fun dynamics. So, Tori, I guess my first question to you is, overall, what was your kind of outstanding moment from last episode that you think could play some factors into this episode?
So an outstanding moment wasn't that like, so something that sticks out in my mind wasn't necessarily just like a moment in general, but it was Rizzo just sort of like driving people's thought process in terms of like just like completely veering their like votes away from him. Like he did not get one single vote at tribal council, despite the fact that he has a public idol. I mean, that was completely amazing to me. So again, not a single moment, but that was just like bonkers to me. Yeah. What about you?
Oh, I completely 100% agree. Like the fact that Rizzo has somehow that last episode did not end up with any votes and like still has that bloody public idol. Like, give him credit where credit's due. That is amazing. And like Survivor Social with Cara and Avery, they had Erin O'Mara on their episode last week, and they actually gave Rizzo their Social Butterfly Award, which you can also check out on YouTube and also our Instagram, because we now post the Social Butterfly Awards. So keep an eye out for that. One thing that I'm really curious about is, and Gemini fully just put it in the chat, so clearly me and Gemini are mind reading here, is Christina's idol. I was so happy, firstly, to see Christina get an idol, because I was like, under-edited queen. I'm so happy that we get to see more from her, and I'm so happy that she's got her idol. I really hope it doesn't come back to bite her, just because I feel like she deserves some time to, you know, have that idol and use it correctly and like make a presence for herself. Because no shade, the editors have done her a little dirty. Similarly with like Sophie S at the earlier on in the season, we're starting to get that issue now with Christina, and I think why. I mean, my first question is, why is it always women? But that's just me sipping on some tea.
So true.
But yeah,
so true.
What are your thoughts on Christina getting that idol? Because obviously, rarely do we kind of see nowadays, especially in the new era, like idols get founder image. I feel like people kind of have stopped, like ignored. Obviously, I'm not ignoring 46 and Idol Mania, but we have. I've noticed, especially like people haven't really been searching for idols, especially during the merge. So what do you think about Christina getting her idol, and what are your kind of like thoughts going into this episode really with it?
So, couple things about that. First of all, I 100% agree. There are a couple ramifications, which I'm excited to see personally. And yeah, I think that, first of all, I was so happy to see the fact that she just found an idol. Like, I found that was refreshing. I think that now that they're in the merge, like, I don't know if it's the fact that they are in the merge and that like the editors or the producers or whoever can give credit for. I don't know. Like I don't know who to give credit to for this, but whoever it was, like they decided that they're in the merge and we're done like watching them like run around the beach with like a chain and ball and chain or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I found that was very, very cool. Now, I do think that Alex has a relationship with Sophie B. And Sophie B has this advantage, which is knowledge is power. And I feel like that's where the ramification is going to come in. I do think that Alex has the ability to stir things up. And I think that he's itching to stir things up. And we saw that in the fact that he wanted so badly to find the idol and he did not find the idol. He saw Christina find the idol.
Yeah.
So that's that.
No, I completely agree. And I mean, I've just thrown out Amy's comment, I'll throw it back out. I think Alex will give Christina some trouble with her idol. I completely agree. And then also the Hot Grim Reaper. Still love the name. Christina's idol has been claimed by Alex and Steven. Alex is designing plans to use it. And I think that's the very true point. And I think it's the interesting thing when obviously you find an idol and obviously you say, oh, well, I can use this for all of us. I think for me, what the issue will be is if Alex and Steven make a plan for the idol, but don't discuss it with Christina and then go, this is what we're doing. I do think that will be very, I mean, the word that comes to my mind is rude, but for the context, in the sense of the person that has possession of this idol gets a say. And if they say no, in my opinion, you can't like disagree with them. Because at the end of the day, yes, you've all found it together. But if two people have made a plan and not included the person that's holding the idol, I do think that's very disingenuous. So I am intrigued to see where it all might play out. And I think you're right with the knowledge is power. Like, obviously, I could see a world where Alex tells Sophie and Sophie then gets the idol from there. Because, I mean, absolutely easily can. And I think it's a good mark on Sophie B's credit where she has not told anyone about the knowledge is power. And I think that's so powerful. Because, again, you having the knowledge is power is knowledge. And it's powerful, which is why it's called knowledge is power. So I am very intrigued to see how that plays out. You look like you have no clue.
I do think also, back to your point really quick about these idols that are being found in groups, I think that can work if it's a group that has kind of been together for a little while and knows that they can trust each other. This group of Christina, Alex, and Steven hasn't really been together for that long. Maybe Steven and Christina, sure, but Alex hasn't really been working with them for that long. Or we don't really know how close he is with them because we haven't really seen him working with them. So, like, how can you really trust those three people are actually going to use the idol the way that they tell you that they're going to use the idol? So, yeah, I don't think that this type of public idol or group idol, I should say, is necessarily going to work the best possible way for every single one of those three.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, Zanz has just said it in the chat as well. Alex going to check in with Sophie and let it slip about the idol. I can completely see that happening. The only other thing I want to talk about in terms of last episode is Savannah, the Hot Grim Reaper, because I'm sure she slayed last episode for me. I absolutely loved it. I mean, not only did she kind of like obviously have like a Sophie S thing where it was her target, and then she won immunity and like saved herself, which is great. But I also think she was able to cause chaos by just being present, and I think that is such like bad bitch energy, and I find it so hilarious. What did you think about the Savannah of it all? Is the way I'm going to describe it.
Obsessed with that name, first of all. I loved it too. I am obsessed, like, with exactly what you said. The fact that she stirred things up without even really needing to do anything. I mean, she didn't even really need that advantage. All she needed to do was make people think she had an advantage. Because no matter what she did, like whether she had an actual advantage or not, all of those people were going to think that she had an advantage. So that was amazing. One thing I will say, and a lot of people in the Survivorverse have been saying this, and I completely agree, and that is that I don't love in this new era, or in the past couple of seasons of the new era, really, I don't love how the person that wins immunity gets everything, meaning like they get to eat, they get immunity, so they're not going to get voted out, they get an advantage. Like, that's way too much power just for like being able to stand on a block for a little bit of time. Like, you give her immunity, maybe let her like sit in on the tribal. Like, that's cool. That's enough power to me. Like, that to me, that would have been a cool enough advantage and enough of a shakeup to where like that would have shifted the vote like on its own. Like what we said, like they would have thought she had an advantage anyway. And that could have on its own shifted the vote the same exact way as what happened. So I don't know. That's one thing I don't love. But do I love her having this power because I love her? Absolutely.
Yeah, and I completely I get that. Sorry, I just need to get this. Savannah on the boat is like Godzilla coming to the shore. Completely agree. But yeah, I agree with you on what you said about the as Zans has put it, Survivorverse.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the fact that because we saw it last season kind of with Eva. It's like she won immunity and then she got this advantage. And I thought to myself, and I remember thinking that as well, actually. So I do agree. I do think it is very unfair that, you know, person that won immunity then gets the chance to have an advantage. And I'm like, really? Like, you've given, like, this person's already, like, shown physical. And it's like, I think it's in the sense of fairity. You want everyone to have a fair chance of getting it. So, like, even if that was the case of kind of like what they've done before, right? This team has won the reward. Here's the chance for an advantage. Like, make it that thing. Or just make it random where anyone sits. Like, because everyone was like, oh, well, how did Eva get it? Because she sat there and it was like, obviously it was planned for Eva to get it because she won immunity. I also agree. I miss Outback Steaks and like I just miss better food rewards. And I think I've said this so many times on this podcast. I need better rewards. And I'm going to say that until I'm blue in the face. I really hope during 50 we see them go to the waterfall. We see them go on a trek. We see them go to a village. I don't care as long as it ain't the sanctuary or their beach. And it's like the tiniest, like as long as it's not, I do not care. I need to see something that feels like a reward.
Well, like how crazy would it be if they completely blindsided everybody and went back to the original location where the original Survivor was filmed and had like the original Survivor season and a bunch of like the original types of rewards. Now, obviously, like the types of rewards they had back then weren't even like the best rewards, but do you remember in season 1 when Jenna, like right before the merge, she like met up with Dr. Sean and they went on this like cruise overnight, and that was kind of like one of the original like rewards, and they had an amazing time, and they got a bunch of food, and like I think they got a massage and like a bunch of stuff. Imagine if that's like kind of what they did.
That's literally I can't remember who I was saying this. I actually think I was talking to Kelly. I think this is when when it was me and Kelly on Got Something For You. We literally both sat there and were like, give us a yacht, give us a cruise, just give us something different. Because it's like, and I think that is kind of Survivor's, like, and again, I understand budgeting, I understand all that crap, but when you've made the legacy of having some iconic rewards like swimming with jellyfish, going up to a volcano, like there's so many cool rewards that we've had, and I'm like, I understand you're only in, like, obviously you're in your little location on Fiji, so there is limited things to do, but I still feel like there can be stuff to do. Like, do you know what? Even if it was the same, like, waterfall each season, at least it is kind of the waterfall. Even if it's the same, like, yacht every time, at least it's a yacht. I'm like, at least it's not just going here. Like, you want to have that moment of being like, oh my God, I've got this reward. I'm chilling. Like, I get to sleep on the Great Wall of China. Like, please.
Those were so cool. And I'm sorry, like, they can get creative. Like, set up some tents, set up, like, some, like, even on beaches, like on San Juan del Sur and, like, on a bunch of seasons, they've set up beds. They've set up, like, cool picnics. Like, they've set up way cooler stuff than what they're setting up now. And I do think that they could get super creative. If they want to hire somebody to get creative, I'm right here. We're right here. We're ready for you. We will fly out to Fiji right now, and we will start crafting these rewards immediately.
Oh, well, hold on. I'm not a DIY girly. I will not be doing that. So sorry.
Oh, you're a DIY girly? Well,
no, I'm not. I'm not a DIY guy.
Oh, I'm not really DIY. I just have, like, the brains for the operation, and I need somebody else to, like, put it together for me. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as we're all clear on that,
And Zan says it here first. CBS will hire us. We just need to get to 100 likes.
I think, yes. So, give us all the likes, everybody. Like,
make it happen. Make it happen. You've heard it here first. If we get to 100 likes,
make people find us, because they need us. They need us.
Well, do you want to know how they do that? By liking this video and subscribing to Surviving Our podcast.
Exactly.
That was such a good plug. Do you know what? Thank you, Zans, for that. We'll send you the money for the royalties. But yes, obviously, that has all gone down. Before we get to kind of our ad break, I do just want to quickly talk about MC, but not before I just look at this comment from Amy. Why has there never been a Waffle House reward? Very true. Because, again, Eunice would also go crazy. But yeah, obviously, MC did leave. Just quick thoughts on MC. What was your takeaways with MC?
So I was sad to see her go, as I said. I do think, I don't know, like, from a player standpoint, it would make sense to me to vote her out, not necessarily because of any other reason at this point, other than the fact that I've seen how good she is at challenges, and I wouldn't want her to go on a run. And as a secondary thing, I know how, like, tight of a relationship she has with, like, Steven and a few other people on Original Yellow. So as soon as she's able to team back up with them, she's a very dangerous player. So maybe there were, like, some conversations about that we weren't necessarily seeing. That had to have been on people's radar. Otherwise, like, there's no way that she would have been, like, there's no way that the conversation would have shifted so quickly from Rizzo to Sophie/MC.
Yeah.
I do think that Sophie, like, blew up her game more than MC blew up her own game. What do you think about that?
No, I agree. Fully agree. She blew it up. Yeah, I was really sad to see MC go. I really wish we could see her, like, do more of the immunities and slay it, because I know that it'd be so cool to do. But I am very proud of MC, because I feel like, again, she was an alternate. She kind of probably came in similar to Jason, had a lot to prove, and I think she did a really damn good job of proving it.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
We love you, MC, and I can't wait to see your jury looks. It's the only thing I look at. But right, we are going to kind of start talking about our predictions for tonight's episode, what we think is going to happen. But first, we're just going to take a quick break. We're going to let you listen to our Patreon ad, and then we'll be right back for all of our predictions for this episode.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. No, not them. I'm talking straight to you. Are you interested in even more Survivor content? Make sure to check out Survivor Now's Patreon page. We've got some incredible stuff going on over there, like an exclusive interview with the Dragon Slayer, Coach. Can you believe it? As well as many seasons that we revisit so much bonus content, and there's 2 tiers to choose from. Either be a faithful member for $3 a month or be a legend for $5 a month. There's also a 1-week free trial for the legend tier if you're interested. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in the description below and join our Patreon today. I better see you there. All right, let's go back to the show.
Make sure you get onto that because we are going to have some amazing content coming up, especially next year with Survivor 50 and Survivor AU. So just keep an eye on it, even if you maybe wait until the end of the year. Just keep an eye on it because we do have some amazing content. Tori and Josh have done a couple of rewatches and discussions on them. Like we said, we have some amazing interviews with Coach Leilani from the UK. Just keep an eye on it. But obviously, we have tonight's episode 9, to talk about, which is starting in just over 25 minutes. Tori, anything you're kind of excited for? Obviously, we've had a few little sneak peeks and pictures thrown our way. So have you got any kind of thoughts and feelings about what you think could transpire this episode?
So honestly, anything could really happen. I don't really feel like I have a good sense of exactly who's going to get voted out tonight or really like what's going to go down, just because last week was such like a weird episode with like not everybody going to tribal.
Yeah.
I almost said trial, like going on trial, which is kind of like what happens every week. But anyway, yeah, with not everybody going to tribal, like it was just kind of like a weird episode, or an unprecedented episode. And so I don't really have a good sense of exactly what's going to happen. However, it does seem like Rizzo is going to be targeting a man at first, or that's what we're seeing in the previews. So I'm not sure which man he's going to be targeting. My guess would be Steven, or at least at first. Like, I think that would be like who's on his radar as like kind of somebody that's in a power seat. And I also saw, I think that the challenge is like the one where they do it with their feet, you know, and they have to like build something with their feet, which is one of my favorite challenges. I'll be honest. It's really like the best thing to watch, but it could be interesting.
I don't necessarily think it's building things. It reminds me of anyone that watched Australia versus the World. It is kind of similar to the first merge challenge they did. Okay. Or maybe it was the last pre-merge challenge, sorry. Basically, everyone had to hold, for them it was a block on a very narrow pole, but for obviously this, for the US, it's the disc on something.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's very much using your feet to hold on to this thing for as long as possible. Which I'm very excited for because I do think it's a very good endurance test of kind of just willpower. So I'm very much excited for that. I'm also very intrigued to see how they react to MC's elimination, because I do think we're going to see some very shocked faces. And I think from the previews, from what I've seen, obviously, you see that Sophie S kind of goes and talks to Savannah and Sophie. So the indication there is that she kind of is jumping ship. She's kind of wanting to move over to them. Now, how true we think that is, I don't know. But I definitely think it would be an interesting kind of dynamic. Mm-hmm. I will say, if Rizzo goes for Steven, I'm going to be so mad just because my draft. So there will be a little bit of bitterness, which I think is very valid from my end. So if anyone says that it's not, I do have valid reasons. But I think it could be an interesting episode just because I think MC going, I do think really shakes up the dynamic, because you did have kind of like everyone was very much, will get out Rizzo, Sophie B or Savannah. They are the bottoms. And then somehow it turned into MC versus Sophie. So I do think that the majority alliance is going to shake, and I do feel like we're going to see that splinter off this episode. I really could see a thing where it splits off, and it really does become fluid, which I think if it does, it will make for very exciting gameplay. I'm just not sure where everything shakes up, because obviously you've got bottoms up that are quite close to one another, and then you've kind of got Steven, Alex, and Christina who all have the idol together. You've then obviously got Alex and Sophie who are together. You've got Rizzo and Savannah that are still kind of staying close. So there is a lot of dynamics to kind of play within this final 9, which I think is going to be very, very interesting because I feel like anything could go down.
Absolutely.
Especially if Sophie S is going to, flip to that other side. Because that if the trio of Savannah, Sophie B, and Rizzo do want to stick together, they have Sophie S, which is only 4 votes. They only need one other person to flip. Or, like Sophie B has the knowledge as power to get stuff going on their side. So it'll be interesting. Do you, I've just mentioned it. Do you think Sophie B's knowledge is power or the idol or anything will come into play in tonight's episode?
You mean Rizzo's idol or Christina's idol or both?
Either or.
I don't think Rizzo's idol will be used. Maybe it'll be dangled in front of people again as sort of bait, as he's been doing. But I do think I don't know if Christina's idol will be played. I feel like Sophie's knowledge is power will be used because since the numbers are so kind of like scattered and everyone's kind of all over the place, I feel like everyone's going to start feeling uncomfortable, including Sophie B. And I feel like she's going to like use that to gain a little more control. Yeah. Now she has an idol and now she's going to hold on to that for a few votes, similar to how Rizzo's been holding on to his idol. And so now she's in more of like a power position instead of kind of like playing the middle. So I do feel like, is it a little early for her to use it? Yes. But I feel like if she holds on to it for too long, it's just going to end up going home with her in her pocket. And I think she knows that. So I feel like it's going to be used tonight. What do you think about that?
I think I agree. I do think it could be used. I do see this. Oh no, Rizzo, don't dangle your idol. And I agree. Again, this is all hypothetical. I feel like Rizzo obviously made a very bold statement the first time. And then last tribal, he was able to kind of mention it, but then not use it. Yeah. I do think if he tries to dangle his idol a third time, I mean, this is only hypothetical. This would be if I was on the island. If this man dangled his idol for a third round, I'd just openly be like, Rizzo, I'm voting you just to flush your idol. I'd be like, you can vote me out if you want, but at least I can say I got your idol out and you can't dangle that anymore. Because I do feel like if he continues to dangle it, I think that could hurt him. I think the perception then becomes a very blurred line between confidence and cocky. And I will say, watching Rizzo, I do feel like Rizzo's very he's really enjoying his time. You can tell he's loving his time out there. But I do fear that if he does dangle it a little bit too much, it can come across in a negative way. I mean, yeah, you've got Zan saying here, don't dangle more than twice, 3 times is far too much. The Hot Grim Reaper, these new era immunity idols are sad looking. Agreed.
Very
yeah. I was going to say, me and Kelly Wentworth fully agree. And then Eunice said, if they use that extra vote advantage, will they, Rizzo, Savannah, and Sophie control the vote if they pull Sophie, since they would have 5 votes? And it would depend on who the other who gets voted for. I think if it was a tie, because technically, if they say if it was Savannah, then no. If it was someone else and Savannah still has the extra vote, then maybe. So there's a lot of dynamics in play, especially with advantages, that I am very excited to.
Yes. One thing I will also say, one thing I'll also say about Rizzo sort of like using that idol as bait. I do think he's still somehow doing a really good job of making all of the other people still feel respected while doing all these things. Like, he's actually just like such like a level-headed guy that like, I don't know how he's doing it. He's not making anybody feel like dumb, in my opinion. Where so many times on Survivor, we see people kind of like pulling similar moves and they're kind of doing it disrespectfully. And I don't feel like he's doing that at all. So I do feel like there is a fine line. And I do think that he needs to watch how long that he's doing these kinds of things. Just like people have been saying in the chat. So I totally agree with all the people that are saying that. But I think that so far, I don't think that it's hurting him in terms of jury votes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it will depend on obviously if he makes it further or if he makes it deep into the game. If he still has that idol, what is then the perception going to be? So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that works. Right. We are just about 15 minutes away from tonight's episode. I hope everyone's getting excited. So for the last 5 minutes, I want to get your predictions, Tori. Who do you think is going to win immunity? And who do you think is going to get voted out tonight and sent over to the jury?
So again, this is a very tough one for me to call just because like so many people, we didn't see kind of like where their loyalties lie at this point. I don't know. Last week we didn't really see them. So anyway, immunity. Let's start there. I don't know. I feel like Sophie B has a good shot at this one. She just feels like somebody that's kind of been like in the immunity challenges. She has like the ability to kind of like hold her own in these like endurance things. She did pretty well last week in sort of like an endurance challenge. I'm going to say Sophie B for immunity. And I'm going to need to think for a second on who's going to go home. So let's come back to me on that. Who do you think is going to win immunity?
You know what? I could see Sophie B winning it. Just because, like you said, I feel like she's kind of been in there. Another person I could see winning it is Sophie S. And that's coming from the fact, obviously, she is competitive. From my knowledge, she is a pre-competitive swimmer. And that's also the thing. She's got strong legs. Being a swimmer, I can tell you this for a fact, you need strong legs. Yeah. So I definitely could see that come into play. Part of me would also love to see like Sage win. I'd love to see like Sage pull it out. Like that's what I'd love to see happen. But yeah, I could see one of the Sophies pulling it out, or just in my head like Sage or Steven. I know I've said like 20 different names.
One of the S's is what you're saying.
Yeah, all the S's basically. Anyone with an S name.
I feel like any of them has a shot. But who are you going to say? Like out of all the S's, who's it going to be?
Do you know what? Let's go with Sage. I'm going to go with Sage.
I love that. Yeah. I feel like she's been quiet for a week or two, so I need her back in it, you know? Okay.
Agreed.
I love that. Who's getting voted out? Last week I said Christina, but I actually don't think it's going to be Christina. I do think that her idol is going to get stolen this week, and she's going to get a little scared. She's going to, she's going to come out of her sort of like feeling of being in power, which is going to suck for her. I feel bad. But who's going to get voted out? I think I'm actually going to say maybe it might be Juwan's time.
Oh.
It might be Juwan's time. I'm going to say Juwan.
Okay.
Who are you going to say?
I've got two theories. I can understand the Juwan one. I could see them kind of going for Juwan and being like, it's time for like some kind of Savannah and stuff. It's time for some revenge. Like it could be a case of like Juwan gets really cocky, really comfortable, and like kind of loses sight. I could also see a world, and Zans said this in the chat, where Sophie S also gets snuffed. I could see a world where basically Sophie S flips, but then maybe, hypothetically, Sophie tries to play the middle. She tries to, like, you know, get in between, like, she tries to play the middle and it gets found out. And then she, like, something happens and everyone kind of just goes, you know what, we're getting rid of Sophie S. I could see that happening. So that's going to be my prediction.
I like that, actually. Yeah, my original thought was that it was going to be somebody from Original Yellow. But I don't know. I just feel like Juwan's, he's been feeling like he's on top. I've heard a couple of those predictions that people are saying maybe it's Juwan. I kind of liked that thought, so I'm going with Juwan. I might have been influenced, but we're gonna roll with it.
We'll wait and see. Obviously, you think Juwan. I'm going to go with Sophie S. So we'll be able to see who is right once this episode is over. We've got some last few comments. V in the chat is saying, last episode was the definition of let me blow my game up. So I agree with you, Tori. And also, Zan says, I would miss his teethy smile, not Juwan. And also, he says that Juwan has been the comic relief. So that's where we're at. Obviously, we are about just over 10 minutes away from the episode, so we're going to start wrapping things up here so you can all get comfy and settled and get ready to go watch Survivor. Obviously, just a reminder tonight, everyone, after the episode is aired, make sure to come back here onto YouTube or X to watch our after show. Tori will be there, as well as Josh, Abraham from Survivor 41, and Bruce from Survivor 44 and 45. Those you four will all be making your reactions, giving your honest reviews on the episode just after it's aired. So if you also want to get those honest reactions, make sure to come back here at the end of the episode to come watch their reactions. So around 9:40, maybe 9:35, who knows? But just after the episode is aired, make sure to come back here. And then just a reminder, we have got loads more content on our channel coming up this week. You have got Survivor Social with Cara and Avery. You have Survivor Stockwatch with Will and Josh. And then you've got Something For You with Phil and myself, where everyone is going to be giving our thoughts on everything. You've got Social, that's going to break down all the social elements. Stockwatch, which is going to look at the power rankings. Me and Phil just talk a lot of crap and then look at social media because we love that. But it's all fun and you get all of the aspects of the Survivor episode. So make sure to watch that. Tori, as you know, thank you so much for joining for the pre-show. It's always a fun time getting hyped. Are you ready for the episode?
I'm so ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I am very much ready.
I can't wait.
And thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you for giving us all your comments. As we said, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because we are going to be giving you all the content. And we will see you for the after show, but we will see you next time. But thank you for tuning in. Bye.